Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another overview video. And now I'm looking at 88 Films' release of the Jackie Chan film The Protector, which came out in 1985. Now, at the time, Golden Harvest had huge success with Jackie in Hong Kong after they signed him up in the early 1980s to do Young Master, after he had previously had massive success with Snake in the Eagle's Shadow and Drunken Master in 1978, first seasonal films, which also put him put him under the direction of a then unknown Yuen Woo-ping, who would later go on to choreograph the action scenes in the Matrix, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Kill Bill and the like. But because of that success, they were hoping that they could market Jackie in the United States, and Golden Harvest did this with 4 films, and The Protector here is one of them. The previous 3 were Battle Creek Brawl, which I believe was known in the United States as The Big Brawl, and the other 2 were the first and second Cannonball Run films, which starred Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise. Unfortunately, none of those 3 earlier films had quite the effect that Golden Harvest were hoping for. In the case of Battle Creek Brawl, it seemed like they were, which was directed by Enter the Dragon director Robert Klaus, and it seemed like Klaus was trying to get the action to be done in much a similar way that he'd done with Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, and because that was totally against the way Jackie did his action, it just didn't come off very well at all, and the film was not exactly a resounding success. And in the case of the Cannonball Run films, when he was surrounded by heavyweight American stars like Burt Reynolds and the like, his part being so small meant that he couldn't really get a stranglehold through those films either. And it also didn't help that he was a Chinese person playing someone who was Japanese, and that didn't exactly set his world alight either. But in terms of The Protector, which was the last of those 4 films and came out in 1985. Now, this is not to be confused with The Protector, which is the most commonly used English name for the Thai film Tom Yum Goong, which starred Tony Jaa, fresh off his success with Ong Bak from a few years earlier. In fact, in the UK, that film got called Warrior King because a DVD release of this film had at the time only just come out, and having 2 different films called The Protector would have been way too confusing. So anyway, back to this film. In this film, which was directed by James Glickenhaus, who was at the time was renowned for doing some films well on for a low budget and getting good success. They were hoping that that would be just the kind of director that could turn Jackie into a superstar in the United States, but alas and alack, it was not to be. Jackie disapproved of the way James Glickenhaus did things, not just the action, but the fact that Jackie was playing this sort of hard-boiled, Dirty Harry style cop instead of being someone more lighter in tone, like he was used to playing in his best-known Hong Kong hits at the time. And he also disapproved of the graphic violence and the strong language and casual nudity. I mean, there's scenes in which you see rooms full of completely naked women, save for them wearing shoes. Yeah, because that's really going to cover up their modesty. The Protector didn't do very well in the United States, and and of course Jackie was still at the time struggling to speak English, and there was one point where tensions between him and Glickenhaus got so bad that he momentarily walked off the set and only came back because his contract forced him to, and he would have got into real trouble if he didn't. So he had to just grimace and bear it and finish the film. But after the American release, he did actually do his own Hong Kong re-edit, which he felt would better serve his more accepting audience back in Hong Kong and generally throughout Asia. So he cut out all the nudity and the vast majority of the bad language, and also added some extra bits, including a subplot involving a singer played by Sally Ye, aka Sally Yip, who famously appeared alongside Chow Yun-fat in The Killer. This version was far more favourably received, although it still didn't exactly reach the same dizzying box office success as his earlier films like Project A. But one thing that the Protector did do is convince Jackie to do a police film his way, which he did, and that film was the massively successful Police Story. And as you may, long-term viewers of my channel will know that I actually looked at the Eureka Entertainment limited edition box set of that, and of Police Story and Police Story 2. It should still be on my channel, and it's there to peruse at your leisure. But back to this, let's take a look inside. So you've got the usual very impressive cover art, some great likenesses, as well as starring Jackie Chan. You've also got Danny Aiello, who plays Jackie's character's partner. Sadly, Aiello died not so long ago, and the other two main notable stars in the film are Roy Chow, who plays the lead villain, and is probably best known for playing Lao She in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and for being Jean-Claude Van Damme's mentor in Bloodsport, and for being the Shaolin monk at the beginning of Enter the Dragon. And on the back you get the usual thing about what roughly happens in the film. And another notable person playing a villain in this is the martial arts champion Bill Superfoot Wallace. You also get, in a very small role in the film, the actress Moon Lee, who appeared in a lot of femme fatale style Hong Kong films not long after this came out, and also appeared in Mr. Vampire, alongside Lam Ching-ying, Chin Siu-ho and Ricky Hui. And you get something saying what's in this particular release, including some new audio commentaries. And you also, for the first time in the UK, get the Hong Kong version, which was the aforementioned recuts of the film that Jackie did, although that won't look or sound as good because it's standard definition, so it's not been sourced from it's not a 2K restoration the way that the original American version is. So if you were to watch one and then the other, you'd see a noticeable dip in quality in the Hong Kong recut version. It is a shame that that's the case, but at least it's there at all, so you can see what kind of thing Jackie changed. And here's the international cover art, which I believe was also used on the original VHS tapes back in the day. And the back is just the same as what's on the back of the cardboard sleeve. One thing is a bit saddening is that the front cover, and indeed the film itself, features the twin towers of the original World Trade Center before they were destroyed in that terrorist attack on the 11th of September 2001. But going back to this, it's another of those that has a reversible sleeve, so if you wanted to have a look at the cover that the Hong Kong edit got, then it's there as well. There it is, with that bit there being much different pictures, but otherwise otherwise much the same as what's on the reverse side of the main sleeve. And there's the disc itself. And here's the limited edition booklet that is typical of a lot of the 88 films limited edition UK Blu-ray releases. So you get to see how it's marketed in different parts of the world, amongst other things, and you get a little bit of backstory as to how the film came about and where Jackie was up to in his career at that point and so forth. And you get some pretty good behind the scenes pictures and so forth. As for the film itself, well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, there might be those who enjoy watching Jackie play someone who's a bit more forceful and hard-boiled than his usual happy-go-lucky persona that he tended to have at the time. But the fact that he was still struggling with English at the time does also count against him, because obviously if you're struggling with a second language, your acting can often suffer, and it's arguably no different here. I mean, he tries his best, and he also didn't like the script in general. But it's another case of seeing Jackie doing something a bit different to the norm. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favourite film of his. He has done better, and in the original American edit, the action is pretty sloppily edited and directed and slow paced. In fact, one of the things that Jackie did in his Hong Kong edit, he actually brought Bill Wallace back, and he almost entirely reshot the fight scene to make it more exciting and interesting, and also employed some of the tricks of the trade that he was using at the time, like the power powder that he'd put on clothes so it would flip off every time someone took a knock. But anyway, that's it for this overview. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.